Hey guys, Christian the Haver Cardman here, coming back at you with another Market Watch. This is week 2 now. Really excited to keep going on with this series. But before we get into today's Market Watch, I just want to say the ban list did drop. It was very unexpected. I had planned to do this Market Watch today, and then the ban list dropped. So I'll do a couple notes on that, but I'm not going to do a whole lot on it. I have some other stuff that I already kind of wanted to talk about. So we're going to primarily focus on that, but there will be a couple things relating to the ban list. And before we get into the video as well, don't forget to check out all the links down in the description, you guys. I got a whole bunch of stuff in there to my other social medias, like my Twitter, as well as my other channels I'm involved with, Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis, Coalition of Scrubs, Team Chaos Stream. It's all down there for you guys to check out. And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe so you guys can get more of it in the future, as well as clicking that bell notification so you guys can stay updated on all future uploads. And without any more advertising, we'll just go ahead and get into the... Oh, one more thing. I do have a TCG player store. The link to that is also in the description as well. I have over 3,000 listings right now, so if you guys are looking for singles, be sure to take a peek through my store and see if you find what you're looking for. And I will once again give this disclaimer that if there's any cards in here that I have personally invested in or plan to invest in, I will give you guys a notice of that to make sure that you're aware of what I have and haven't actually invested in yet, or if I plan to in the future. And if I do these market watches, I'll wait at least a few days before I invest in anything that I talk about maybe picking up. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into today's market watch right now. Alright, so here we are. So I do want to go over some quick Salomon Great stuff, because I think this is probably the second biggest winner of this ban list, getting Mirage Stallion back to 1, and we can definitely see a few prices going back up. For example, All Mirage, well, I guess All Mirage is sitting about the same. But you do see a few price bumps. Even Balinx has gone up like $1 and some cents there. Pyro Phoenix, I did see a couple of these go up in price. I actually managed to sell one for like $5.50 or something like that. That was pretty good. The hype isn't immediate. People aren't jumping on Salomon Great as quickly as Sky Striker because of its unbanning anyways. But there is still some decent hype behind this. Foxy's went pretty crazy there from a $272 market price all the way up to $850 is the lowest listing, with only 11 listings left. So these are going fast. And at this price, I would not recommend picking them up. Because look at they are at the $10 mark already, going up to 12, maybe 15. You do have a wall of 15 or at $15 down here with 16 copies, which is interesting. I don't think any of these are going to sell, but these probably will be gone before too long. So if you want some to play, either go with this, or I think there's actually a cheaper version here. Let me look. So there is a common that comes from the structure deck, of course. 2 common printings. So if you just need copies to play with and you don't care about the shiny foiling, then just go ahead and get the commons. But if you really need the shinies, then this is probably like your last chance to get them even remotely at a reasonable price. Otherwise, you're going to be paying way more. Well, you're already paying way more than you need to. But as for everything else, even the Mirage Stelio himself has not gone up that much. And I do really want to quickly talk about him. Unfortunately, I did buy 10 copies before, like hours ago. Like, I bought them this morning because I was like, well, you know, there's not a huge chance, but maybe he'll get off the list. And I just want to have some. I was like, it's only like $12.50 is all it cost me. So, like, it's not really anything, like, too crazy or worth worrying about if I end up losing money on it. But then the ban list came off, and here we go. They're still sitting at like $1.50, almost $2. It's going to take a second for people to grasp onto this, but Salomon Great is such a fan favorite that this is gonna recover quickly, and this is probably gonna go up to a few bucks here for like look at that. We're only on the 3rd page of all those listings, and we're already up to the $4 mark. Like, it's not gonna take long for these cards to go up, so I personally would recommend you guys picking up your few near mint first ed copies and listing like this guy, like all at $4.99. 32 copies. He went in hard, but you can definitely make a few bucks off of this. If nothing else, you're only going to be out a few bucks, but I realistically think that they could very well go up to a $4 to $5 price point pretty easily, given that, once again, there's only 2 pages of them below $2, excluding shipping, of course. But yeah, I mean, you don't have too much of a window here before these shoot up, actually. So I would recommend getting in on that as quick as you can here, getting some of these structured X Soul Burners, Mirage Stalios. So there is a chance it could get reprinted sometime this year, but I'm not betting too much on it. Not on anything time so soon, anyways. For right now, like, buy into the hype for a second. This might actually be a really good one to go for here. I don't know why it's taking me so long to go back to where I need to go. Give me just a second. Why is this taking so long? There we go. Okay, back to the Selmer good stuff. So, yeah, once again, nothing too much else crazy to speak about here. Like, nothing else really went up all that much. Mirage Dahlias are on the way. I'm sure the rest of the package is probably getting there fairly soon. Foxy's, once again, went terminal. So, let's go ahead and move on here to the Sky Strikers, which are the big winners of this ban list, getting that fat Engage back to 1 off the ban list. I'll admit, I actually... I have a very sad story about this because I picked up my, I think it was my ultra rare, 2019 Gold Sark ultra rare. I picked up 3 copies of those right before they got banned. Like, they showed up the day before the ban list dropped, and at the same time, I think my Thunder Dragon Colossus arrived, and they just both got banned, and I had to sit in tears for a little while, realizing that I had cards I couldn't play, so I held on to them. And with Engage, it definitely paid off, considering that I think I paid like $8 for them at the time. Like, they were pretty cheap. I think people were really speculating it was going to get banned. But now you look at the Ultra Rares, they're already up at the $12 mark with only 10 copies left. And then you are right at the 13. Actually, really only 7 copies left because you are dealing with a 0% here on 79 sales. So most likely nobody's going to buy these copies. But you have 7 here at the $11.95 mark, and then you're right at $13 and going up. Like, it's just madhouse with Engage. I'm actually curious to see how high the ultra rare goes. I know the secret rares are going terminal, but yeah, it looks like these are going to kind of stagnate about $14, $15. And yes, I am on here at 14. I had them listed at like 12s, but I'm glad I caught it in time. As soon as I saw Engage, I immediately went to my listings and like upped it a couple bucks. I know that sounds kind of bad, but given the demand on this card, you know, I mean, it's what I'm here to do. At the end of the day, I'm here to make money. I don't want to like put anyone out and like screw anyone over really, but there are a lot of listings to go before I even sell mine anyways. So if they don't sell until this price point, then I mean, if that even happens, we'll see. But because I know a lot of people are going more for the secret rares here. Let's actually go just view all versions really quick. So if we go look at the secret rare here from Dark Saviors, I believe this is the original printing. Yeah, for unlimiteds on near mints, you're looking at almost $23, basically $22.50. Let's put on that first edition stamp there. Lightly Playeds are at the $35 mark. Let's see what these actually were before today, right? So there's a lot of 621 sales. You're seeing a lot of people picking these up. Even near mint unlimiteds, actually the unlimiteds have been going like crazy because people are like, only $20 for these. I'm down. But the first eds, they've been selling at $40, and there are so many. Actually, all the sales we can see right now are only from today, so that's very unfortunate. But you can see they've definitely been selling at this $40 price mark for the first ed secret rares. People really want that value. They really want that kind of classical feeling of having the OG print cards. Will it go up? Let's see here. So Lightly Played is quickly leading up into that $40 mark for the near mints. There's a few sitting here like strictly at 40, and then you go on to the next page. And yeah, you're just kind of sitting at 40 all day long for these. And then eventually it goes up to a seller at 90. I can't see it selling there, not with there being 2 other printings of this card and another one of them also being a secret rare. Like, if we go back and look here at the Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge, there's 36 listings left. Actually, how many were there of the other one? So you got 28 listings left of Dark Saviors, but 36 in Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge. It's not the original printing, but it is still secret rare, which is nice. And near mint first eds on these are $18. Of course, this set only had first edition, but I mean, given the huge difference in price there, like near mint first eds of Dark Saviors is double this price. So if you really want that shiny with the first edition stamp on it, this is the way to go. That's all I'm gonna tell you, because like $18, $19 is way better than $40. And it might even, let's see here, so it does kind of just hang out at $20, so it might not be the best pickup if you're looking to resell it, but if you're looking to play it and you really want the shiny, then this is probably your best way to go, because the ultra rare, once again, is decent. It looks like it's going to head up in value a little bit by like a couple bucks. But for the most part, this is probably about what you're going to be looking at. I guess the Dark Saviors might end up going up a little bit with more demand. Seeing how much they're selling, people might decide to actually try to raise that price up a little bit. So let's take a peek at the rest of the Sky Striker stuff, because I know a lot of it's kind of been going a little bit insane. Let's make sure we go into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just in case. So we've seen that Rose's, Kagari's, and Shizuku's and even Hayates for Ultimate Rares and Starlight Rares respectively have all kind of gone a little bit over the top. But you look at everything else, ooh, even roses are insane. Look at that market price of $22.51 up to the $47.99 with 13 listings left. This is scary. This is an ultra rare out of Ignition Assault. And let's just look at this. There's got to be so many. Yeah, these are all sales from today. Actually, a lot of first ads, like all these first ads got bought out. And then people started buying the Unlimiteds. Wow, this is a crazy story. People buying even the first ads at $50. People were not afraid to pick up this card. To the point where now near mint Unlimiteds are $49, basically. That is insane. And you can still pick up a near mint, a few near mint first ads here for $50. Which is pretty good. You go to the second page, the last page even, and they don't really go up much further. So we pretty much hit probably about the peak of where this card's going to go in just a single day. Like, this thing was at $22, and in just a single day, it's now more than doubled its price. Like, that is absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and, like, look at Rays really quick, 'cause I'm curious about that. I don't know why that didn't paste. I'm just going to go back. That's not where I meant to go. Okay. So... oh, ooh, doubled in price on your Widow Anchors as well. 6 listings left. That is crazy. If we look at how this has been all day, this has definitely sold a bunch. People are going crazy for this, man. People are excited to play their Sky Strikers. Just when we were actually getting back into a format where we were starting to see more combo rising up, this is just gonna clap right back and take us back into that control mode. Sky Striker Eldritch is gonna be ridiculous. I feel like we're gonna see a whole ton of that, and I might even take a look at some Eldritch stuff towards the end of this video here if it's not too long. But yeah, we can just see everything here kind of going turn. Even actually, it's surprising. Rays here from the Gold Sark 10s 2019 Prismatic Secret Rares are still only like the $3 mark, $3 to $4 mark with 50 listings. So. If you guys want a couple bucks, that might be a chance for you. Like, I'll be honest, because of course so Battle Legends Hero Revenge, that's even cheaper with 40 listings left. This one might actually be a little bit better, given how much cheaper it is, and it's still a secret rare. I mean, I guess it's prismatic versus normal secret rare, but there's not too big of a difference there. Let's see if we can find original race here. So super rare from Dark Saviors, yeah, those are fine. Yeah, so I guess it was really just roses, probably because they've only had the one printing, so expect reprints of those this year for sure. Holy crap. All right, up next here on to Scrap Raptor. This is something I wanted to talk about. So this guy specifically is only a quarter right now, excluding shipping, but if you buy enough of them, you're basically not paying any extra. So I myself, as soon as this set released, I went and I bought, I think it was like 49 copies, and then I pulled several commons out of my own boxes. And I have nothing but good things to say for this card. It is such a pinnacle of, like, peak card design. I love every single thing about it. Not only does it make scraps better, right, and it makes dinosaurs a lot better because it is a dinosaur. You can play the whole Scrap Chimera stuff with the Scrap Yard and all that stuff, and make rank 4s and whatnot. I don't see that play as valuable as the rest of the potential for Scrap Raptor, okay? People are out here wanting to use Scrap Raptor as a normal summon for dinos to be able to go into their rank 4s and, like, start plays, or even use Scrap Raptor mid-combo by special summoning it to the field. I get that play, and I get that people really love dinos, but Scrap Raptor has so much versatility. If you think about it, the Scrap combo, right, which goes through Scrap Recycler, getting you into your Scrap Wyvern, and just dumping a whole bunch of machines to the graveyard, like, you go from Scrap Recycler into a Scrap Wyvern, then you bring back the Scrap Recycler with a Golem, and you loop those multiple times to be able to get repeated dumps into the graveyard and be able to keep link climbing and doing all this crazy stuff to the point where you can end on boards that's like, I've been able to pull off a Nightmare Griffin with an Imperial Order in the back row, and the Imperial Griffin's in, like, the main monster zone of the Zaryuja in the extra deck zone, and then you can find, like, other things to link off into, and, like, that's just, like, the start of your plays. Like, that's just from the scrap package alone. If you have other stuff in your deck, like other engines mixed in, you can do some crazy shenanigans. That's all I'm saying. Like, I've been testing it out with Scrap Springans, and it's just, it's absolutely ridiculous being able to go through Scrap Combo, get all my Springans into the graveyard, summon my Exceed monster, and attach, like, 4 materials to it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Not only do you have a floodgate on, 2 floodgates on field that are absolutely ridiculous, you also have an extra monster that can like do stuff on your, like, be able to clear your opponent's field during your turn, and if you have like other spell cards on field that can do even more. So I just wanted to talk about this. I feel like this is going to go up from a quarter. Sure, as a common, a quarter is pretty valuable, but we've seen Dogmatica Punishment go up to 99 cents, and I'm not saying the Scrap Raptor is as insane as Dogmatica Punishment, but if you can at least double your money on this and go up to 50 cents, like buying a few copies, it's not really going to hurt you at all because it doesn't cost very much. Once again, they're only like quarters a piece. I see, I've even listed mine at 99 cents, and I've had a few people that have come through my store and bought some of those copies because they were buying other stuff and they saw that I also had Scrap Raptors in stock. They suffered with a few extra cents per copy to evade the shipping because their order went over $5. So I think overall, like, honestly, like, you even on the first page see this starting to go up to 30 cents. I feel like before too long, even with 231 listings, this card is going to creep up to some insane, like insane for a common anyway, some pretty insane prices, even with this wall of 208 copies right here from Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily. So there are some walls to get through, but really, once we get through those, it's not all that bad. I just think this is something good to hold on for, like, the next few months. There have been people that are speculating that, like, this is going to be another Pancratop situation where they printed him as a common, even though he's such a good card, because they intend to impact him on the ban list in some way, shape, or form down the road. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. Scrap Raptor's not doing a whole lot at the moment until people find that combo and they realize they can make either some crazy end boards with floodgates and negates, or they can make FTKs out of it. 'Cause there's got to be a way to make an FTK out of Scrap Raptor, and you cannot tell me otherwise. So anyways, with the other stuff in the scrap package, like I mentioned, scrap chimeras are actually kind of cooling down a little bit. They're getting a couple more listings. They're up to 22 now. I don't know why that's going on. They've gone down a few bucks from their market price. Let's take a look at how, like, actually legitimate this is. So you are already seeing right off the bat here, light play first ads at $55 that are selling. 53s on the near mints just yesterday. So that is actually quite impressive. These are still, like, selling. I figured a lot of people would try to wait for reprints, but I understand people trying to get in before the tournaments and stuff going on, now that we're actually starting to get a couple of events back. So I guess I can kind of understand it, but man, going up to this much this is for an Italian. Like, who are you expecting to sell this to, sir? Yeah, I couldn't justify buying a Scrap Raptor or Scrap Chimera right now. Even just one copy is just way too much. As for the ultimate rare stuff, I'm actually surprised this is as low as it is. So we are seeing Scrap Dragon going up, it looks like. Lightly played, selling for 70 on the first ads. Alright, so that's pretty good. Near mint first ads, selling at 90. I can't remember if I have any of these guys or not. I know I have the other two, the Atomic and the Double Scrap, but yeah, you might have actually missed the train on these a little bit. These have kind of gone up to, I mean, not to, oh, I did get some of these. Okay, I have them at $99, so these actually might sell pretty soon, considering, let's see, okay, so I'm just going to filter specifically first eds, not A condition, so it's one page of first editions, and then they're gone. If I was doing market watches sooner than I am now, I definitely would have told you guys to pick this one up. I want to say I got mine for like 50 or so. So to see it going up like this is actually pretty incredible, I'm not going to lie. Considering that most of these are new mints, like you have one light play up here at 70 bucks. It'd be better to just chip in the extra $5 to get that near mint first ed, but there's not really a whole lot of margin for profit here, so like that's really up to you guys. Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting one. I'm not at all surprised to see that like the other scrap synchros aren't going up too much. Scrap Dragon's kind of an iconic one to a degree. Okay, get me back to the main scrap page here. Thank you. So you might see some of these start to kind of bump up a little bit if you guys are going to pick these up. I would do it now. Obviously not the ultra rare Scrap Twin Dragon, but you know, the ultimate rares are actually not too bad. Now, as for scrapyards, I'm actually really happy to see these go down. A couple months ago, I sold mine for like 20 bucks a piece, and I had, I think, 12 copies. So that was a pretty insane order to fulfill because somebody bought them all at once, and that was pretty crazy. Actually, no, maybe I did have them at $12. That sounds more right. You're starting to see more quantities of this fill up, though, which is nice. The price kind of stabilized around this $12 mark, at least for this stuff. Let's select near mint first ed. I just want to see what they got. So near mint first ed, except for this new store here, you're looking at $18 for this, $18, $20. So overall, not the worst value I've seen, but it's pretty crazy. So I'll move on from scrap stuff here. I just want to let you guys know that, like, thanks to Scrap Raptor, the rest of the stuff has got up here. Oh, I do have a couple more things to talk about, actually. So scrap golems are another thing. Ignore the rares, honestly, because you have super rares up here from OTS Pack 13, which are, like, just a few cents more than their rare counterparts, and it looks so much better. So you'll notice I do have some copies in here somewhere. There are quite a few quantities, 54 listings in total, and there's a couple of walls you'll see here, which aren't, like, too crazy, but I think over time, when people realize that going dinos with Scrap Raptor isn't necessarily the best way, and using it for machine stuff, 669, I forgot I did that, but using it for instead stuff like Orchest or Spring-ins, or just taking advantage of the scrap recycler and being able to loop it several times to get it to do what you want to do. I think people need to realize that potential and just how insane Scrap Raptor makes machines, because when you think about it, like I mentioned earlier, you can go through that whole scrap combo and set up all sorts of insane stuff. Like you can build that end board that I was talking about and then be able to go through Spring-in stuff or Orchest shenanigans just fine. And like the thing is, when you think about how consistent of a play that is, it's gotten to the point where the scrap combo is almost as consistent as Prank Kids, because you basically have 12 cards that can get you into a 1-card starter, being 3 Scrap Recycler, 3 Scrap Raptor, 3 Scrap Yard, and 3 Fossil Dig, will all get you into that full 1-card scrap combo that will just blow people out of the water with how insane it is. Now, it is obviously susceptible to an Ash. There are so many things in this format that can be hit by an Ash and be totally screwed over for, so don't really take that too seriously. Scrap Wyvern was the other thing. Oh, he's actually not doing it. He's got 113 listings, about the $250 mark, so yeah, not too crazy on this. I'm actually kind of not surprised that people just came out and started listing these like crazy. When Scrap Raptor came out, people were like, oh, scraps can do things now, so they might as well throw this out. Honestly, a really good link too. I love the card design behind Wyvern. It's a little complicated when you're actually trying to play it and having to go look at it and read what it does over and over again, but it's a good card. Moving on here to the Orchest stuff, I just kind of wanted to once again discuss this because it does relate to the actual scrap package. So you are seeing a few kind of movements here. Last time I checked, Girsu is at like $32. Ding Girsu actually is doing pretty good for himself in both the Dark Neostorm and Dual Overload areas, being about a $6.50, $7 card either way for both ultra rares. Honestly, go with the Dark Neostorm because it is an original print. Let's actually look and see if the first eds hold up to that price. Actually, they might be more. Looks like they're actually just about the same. Yeah, $7 here for near mint first ed. So if you're gonna pick these up, I don't expect really to get any more value out of them. You might go up a couple bucks, but you're not really gonna be making money off of this. But if you want to play Orchest, by all means, honestly, I love this deck so much. Even though your secret rare orchestrated returns, which used to be $20, are now down to $6. That's just crazy. If you really want ultimate rare stuff, you can. Galateas did calm down a little bit. They went up to 100 for a little while. Ding Girsu is just kind of staying where they've been, not really moving anywhere, which is, not surprising. Everything else kind of staying the same. Obviously, we missed the Harp Horror off of the ban list, coming to a 1 at least. I'm sure there's still going to be people speculating and maybe picking up a few copies now while they're kind of cheaper to get ready for the next ban list, just in case we get that one Harp Horror. Honestly, it's an interesting speculation, and I'm not against it. I actually really want to see it happen, but I don't know that it will. So you're looking at super rares here, 5, getting up closer to $6. So these actually are kind of moving up a little bit. So I think I was able to pick up a few at $2 a couple months back. So these might still have some bandless type around them, people that haven't gotten to updating their prices yet. Yeah, so I do have it at $9 here. I can't remember what I got it for, but definitely purely in speculation. It's one of those things, I want to see it come back, but if it doesn't come back, it's not going to be the end of the world, to be honest. So there's that on Orchest stuff. Didn't really have anything special to touch on there. I did realize, though, that last week I actually missed covering Dual Overload. I believe this came out very start of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, last stretch of the 2019-2020 dueling season. So I just wanted to go over a couple cards in this, some things that are really important. Your Vertes are still sitting at $38, Halks at $35. Obviously, these have got to get reprinted sometime this year. Verte, I almost see getting a rarity bump in the Megatins. Once again, pure speculation though. Konami could very well decide to go against that and just make it like a super or something to make it easily accessible, but I kind of doubt that. I think they like this being a chase card, along with Halka Fibrax, but they've already given him an ultimate rare printing, so they could give him a secret, but I just can't see them doing both together, so it really does kind of depend. Although, one interesting thing to note here, you have less than half as many listings of Halk as you do Verte, so keep that in mind. Even with Dragoon running around, you're still not seeing very high quantities of Halk. I think people are really getting ready for Dawn of Majesty with all the new tuner and synchron support, so which is very interesting, because I know a lot of those decks actually will now lock you into Synchro summoning only, so very interesting there. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on in that realm. It's Halka Fibrax. It's nothing surprising. Imperm still sitting about $22. I know that the other copies are kind of going a little bit better, or at least about the same range, so Dual Overload Phantasme is the ultra rare printing, the second best of the Phantasme printings. I actually really appreciated this, and I was able to pick some up at I want to say $4 a couple months ago. Once again, I picked up several copies, and I was able to unload them at $6.99 or $7.50. That was pretty insane, but they've gone back down now. They've kind of gone back down to the $6 mark and are just kind of chilling here. They could go back up potentially if we see a lot more combo stuff going on, like Adagnisters kind of doing their thing and just link spamming. Or even just Cyberse decks in general you can see happening, but I don't think that this is really going to go up too much higher. It looks like it's just kind of chilling about that $6-7 mark. It's just kind of happy right where it is, especially with how many printings there are now. I know the original of this actually kind of went pretty terminal, so let's go back to Dual Overload here, see what else we got, because there's plenty of value cards in the set. Relinquished Anima, I'm surprised to see still sitting up at that $13 mark. It is a good card, I won't lie. If you have level 1s in your deck, it is actually a very satisfying and workable card. I do like it in several regards, but I don't know if I could really justify $13 for it, even though it is a one-of, so I guess it's not too bad, to be honest. Celine's actually down to 34 listings at $14 right now. This might have something to do with Sulfa Chords. It might have something to do with Pendulum with the double Iris Magician coming up to 2. I don't think the price has really gone up. Let's look at sales. Yeah, it looks like sales have kind of been stagnant on the same price, but you do see a lot of purchases today, actually, for about that $14 mark. So I don't think you're going to see it deviate much from that. I think people are pretty happy to see it going at this price, especially if this is from Seal that they opened back when Dual Overload first came out, and it wasn't a $40 product, a $47 product. Yeah, value in this set has actually gone pretty good. Oh, another thing relating to Salamangreat earlier was Cyan Mining. I know House of Champs already covered this, but I'm just going to take a quick look at it. So you are seeing this sell at $6 pretty frequently, even up to $8 for just the Dual Overload Ultra Rares, which isn't bad. It's definitely a good card and very handy for Salamangreats, but that's kind of hard to justify when you have these two other versions here. Granted, one of them is a super rare from the 2020 Megatins, and it's actually only a buck or two less than the Ultra Rares, so it does make more sense to go for the Ultra Rares at that point, but honestly, the Secret Rares aren't even that expensive. We're only looking... Let me select First Edition here, because I know that's what a lot of people care about, is just First Editions. Looks like we're getting down to 43 listings, though, so that's interesting. So for Newman First Ed, you're paying $20 on the nose. So I guess this isn't as good as I thought it was. This is probably about where it's going to peak out by the looks of it. So, yeah, you're seeing some near mints First Eds going here at $17, $18. Looks like it's actually kind of gone up a couple bucks. So, not a significant buyout. You can even see previous sellings from a few days ago. There hasn't been too many buyers today, so I'm kind of surprised that people haven't been clawing after this and trying to find value there, but maybe they're just realizing 20 bucks is probably a little bit too much to make anything off of, so fair enough. Okay. I think that's about all I really had to cover for Dual Overload. Obviously, you can take a look at Cyber Emergency if you guys want. Thanks to Drytron's coming back in the format, but we still have 96 listings there, and this isn't the only printing of this card, so... Alright, let's go ahead and move on to Machine Duplication Ultimate Rare. This is something I wanted to look at because this is relevant in several decks right now. Notably Springans, because there are 2 monsters in the main deck that are 500 or less attack, and they are both level 4s. One of them is Brothers, and the other is Pador. Pador you're not really going to be playing 3 copies of, but Brothers you very well might. And either way, having these guys in there with Machine Duplication to set up your Springans Merrymaker will allow you to be able to secure both Exceeds monsters, because if you can get your X-Blower on field before going into the Merrymaker, so if you can get the rank 8 on field before going into the rank 4, you can essentially get everything you want, because you can get the rank 8 out first using the field spell, and then from there be able to go directly into the rank 4, which will then let you be able to send, I think, send from your deck to the graveyard. Let me look here. I actually have it up on the next tab. I just want to look at Merrymaker really quick, just to see. So, if this card is special summoned from your action deck, you can send 1 Springans monster from your deck to the graveyard. So, and then it does have a banishing effect as a quick effect during your opponent's main or battle phase. But if it's banished with 2 or more materials, which if you exceed summon it normally, you have at least 2 materials, you can send 1 fusion monster from your action deck to the graveyard that lists Fallen of Albaz, which they do have their own in there, but we'll cover that here in a minute. So, the reason I wanted to just take a look at Machine Duplication Ultra Rare, I'm not going to suggest that you guys buy it. I just want to take a peek at it really quick. So you're seeing people selling here at like $52 roughly on the light blade first eds. Near mid first eds are looking at like $80. So let's take a look at what the actual listings are down here. So you've definitely seen this gone up. People are kind of buying there's one copy left here, one motivated seller at $65 with 1 copy of this card, before you're going up to $80, $85 on a lightly played first edition for 2 copies, and then after that you got some insanely high priced mods there. And then you're looking at the lowest after that is $180 near mint first ed. Like that is ridiculous. So I mean, like, if you guys feel like this can really go somewhere, maybe a couple of these lightly played, like these last couple lightly playeds, or even like well, I guess that's not really a cheap mod play, but if you can get a couple of these lightly playeds, maybe, but these listings are low. Like, they're almost gone. So, surprisingly, a lot more first editions than Unlimiteds, though, which is really cool. So, yeah, that was just something I wanted to peek at really quick. On to the spring and stuff. Honestly, I feel like this whole archetype is underrated. I understand most of the deck is common or super rare, but you do have your ultra rare Spring and Ship X Blower up here, which I feel is very undervalued as a card. You can already see that it's gone up a little bit. People are starting to recognize some of it. You got 185 up to 249 now as your lowest. And it's actually kind of going up to about the $4 mark, at least closer to. So that's actually kind of impressive to see it going up a little bit. It was kind of a very underrated ultra rare out of Blazing Vortex. The whole set was just kind of labeled bad, with the exception of Pot of Prosperity. But I think Springans really have some potential, and I think they just need to be found. Like, this deck pretty much has everything it needs. It has the ability to recycle resources, to be able to make easy 1 to 2 card plays. Well, I guess at least 2 cards. But it's just so easy for this deck to do stuff, especially with the support it just got in Lightning Overdrive. This deck is actually pretty decent on its own, and with some generic or machine-based support, this deck can actually do really good. Like, we already have pretty much everything you need in the game to actually make Springans a very viable deck and a very fun deck. And actually, I'm working on doing an updated one because somebody commented on one of my videos saying that I need to do an updated Springans list post Lightning Vortex, or Lightning Overdrive. I keep doing that. And I really want to. So I've been working on it. I'm testing the build. I'm seeing how it goes. That'll probably be coming out before too long. But I just really think that Springans are underrated. If you guys want to get in on it a little bit, ignore the commons. Like, maybe consider the supers. Honestly, 5 cents on supers, you're not really missing out on much. If you guys want to, just pick up the whole core, and like, you'll probably be good to go. Because like, even just playing this deck is a lot of fun. Like, I recommend it 100%. You guys will probably enjoy this a lot, so just give it some consideration. Springans is just a really fun deck. Next thing I wanted to talk about was Dogmatica, because this has done some really weird stuff in terms of the market. It's gone back and forth between being kind of affordable and being way too expensive to play, and it really just kind of plays hopscotch with this really awkward gray line. So Ecclesias, you're still seeing at $18 here, nothing too surprising. If you're looking at, so basically 20 bucks. You're basically paying like 22 bucks for this. Not all that surprising, to be honest. Most people that wanted to play Dogmatica already have it, but there might be a few people who are looking at new decks and just saying, hey, I think this kind of needs Dogmatica in it. So, definitely something to consider here. I'm really intrigued to see that punishments are down. There was such a demand for this to the point where this got up to be a 99-cent common. And look, you're even still seeing it selling at 99 cents. Okay. So you got one motivated seller here selling 149-cent copy. Then you got damaged first eds for 50 cents. Why are you even trying to sell those? But yeah, then you're right back up to 98. So you're still riding the dollar mark for these. People even trying to climb over $1 for this common. If you guys have Rise of the Duelist bulk, pull this card out, sell all the spare copies you have. People want this bad, and like it does already have a reprint as a rarity upgrade. And this card is actually just insane. Like, look at this here. So for a super rare, you got $6 down here, but you have people that are willing to pay 15 bucks for a near mint copy of this card. Like, what? And even $11.99 here, which actually I'll admit I did sell a couple copies at $11.99. I listed them thinking they were going to sit there for a while this price goes up, but looks like there's a lot of low-rated or unverified sellers here to sort through. And like a lot of these also don't have a lot of high quality or high quantities, sorry. They might have even actually just recently like relisted these cards. Like they might not have been listed before, but yeah, you're looking about like the $6-7 mark. But I just wanted to tell you guys that if you can pick up a few copies of that $6 or $7 mark, they are selling at $12. I've already sold 6 copies at $12. Don't ask me how it's happened. They didn't even buy anything else with it. It was just Dogmatic and Punishment Super Rares. I don't know how it happened, but they sell. So, if you guys want to pick up a few copies of Dogmatic Punishment, that's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to guarantee any money, but this card is just ridiculous. There's so much demand for it. It's a really good trap card. Fleur-de-lis, just $15. Nothing crazy there. All the other Dogmatica cards don't really matter all that much. We can take a look at Nadir's, but it's not really going to be all that worth it. People just know Nadir's going to be up for the reprint, and it's going to be going insane. So next up here, I want to talk over a couple of hand traps this format. I've been hearing multiple people saying Effect Veiler is back in. It's another relevant card to the format, especially with Sky Strikers coming back in. This could be a very relevant hit to them, being able to stop any of their link monsters on field, like a Shizuku at the end of the turn trying to get that search, or a Kagari trying to recur the resource to the hand. They can definitely be devastating in that regard, but I don't necessarily think it's enough. But people still just think this card is absolutely insane. Of course, it's a staple in the game. It's always going to be insane. And for Ultimate Rares, you're up to 225 on Lightly Playeds, like 230, 250 even. Whereas Near Mints are a minimum of 300. That's a new store. So basically, you're 350 on your Ultimate Rares, and then like it just stops. Like it hits 350, it's just gone. So Ultimate Rare is not too surprising, but the Starlight, however, is a bit more insane. You're starting at $440. You're not ending at 350. You're starting at 440 in the Starlight, which isn't all that surprising given that it is a Starlight rare. But just look at how insane this card goes. You're looking like on the second page alone, you're already up to $600, and good luck selling that, bud. Oh my god. Yeah, so honestly, I don't think either of these two are worth it at the Starlight or the Ultimate Rare. What I think you guys should heavily consider, I said it last week, but I want to get more into it this time. Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. I strongly feel like this hand trap is insanely underrated. A couple copies of these at $18. It's not going to break your bank. It's definitely some money, but it should not break your bank if you just get a single playset. Might be able to see this go up sometime soon. Okay, you got to filter through all these Korean copies here. Let's select first edition. That doesn't really get rid of those. I guess I should select English. That might help. No, that does not help at all. There's just all these Korean copies here. But anyways, yeah, $18, $19, really not at all bad for this card, considering it is the very first printing of it as a secret rare, no less, from Eternity Code, a set that has just gone massively off the market. And it's stagnating pretty well at this $19, $20 mark. People just have yet to realize the potential of this card. Once we see the big combo stuff coming back in, people are going to realize how insane Ghost Mourner is, especially when you're looking at so many decks that are going through these combos without even normal summoning, right? So using the whole argument that your opponent has to special summon a monster first to activate this is just ridiculous. You look at stuff like Speedroids, which are now starting to see a bit more love, especially after MCole40 posted about Speedroids being able to take down a meta deck. If they start off with the Wind Witch stuff or just a special summon, like, you immediately have this card live. And, like, you could shut off an entire Wind Witch engine, which will shut off a line to a Crystal Wing with protection. So, like, and it burns them along the way. I just don't see a reason that people don't understand, like, how good this card is, because it works with so many decks, not just Speedroids. That was a bad example to throw that right off the bat, but Ghost Mourner hits so many decks, and I just think people need to realize it more. So, like, if you can spare the few extra bucks, get a playset of this for about $60 in total, maybe a little bit over. Or if you feel like being extra, like I am, this is pure speculation, so by all means, think it over, mull it over before making a purchase like this. But, I mean, look at this. You're basically at 257, 258 for a few more copies here, and then you're going up to 300. Like, you have barely any time left at all before you're even hitting $350. And yes, I do have copies here listed at 420, but there is a pretty decent wall here at 400, of course, TCG with 10 copies. So your time to pick these up is limited if you guys have the spare money. Once again, take your own time to think about it and decide if it's truly right for you. But I think people are starting to actually realize the potential of this card, and they're starting to clear off the market. The demand might very well be on the way, so please keep this in mind, but don't just jump on it if you're not ready to. That's all I'm going to say. Next up here is another underrated hand trap, and this one, I have 17 copies of this card because I truly believe in it. I don't know why I ended up with 17. I think it was because I pulled like 2 out of my case or something. I can't remember how many I pulled out of my case, but I just remember I have 17 copies of this. At $7, you're paying for a secret rare hand trap that just precisely is not yet found in its format. This is another Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill instance, but this one doesn't have a reprint clock yet. It obviously does, but it's way down the road because this was the first set of 2021, and this is the first set that's not getting reprinted in the 2021 Megatins. So you have a whole nother year before this sees the chance to have that reprint clock in the Megatins. You could potentially see it in the OTS pack next year, but I honestly don't see that happening. Please, guys, just pick up a playset, spend the $21 or $20, $24, whatever it ends up being, because some of these are closer to $8, I suppose. Even just like this one right here, you're paying less than $24 for 3 copies, shipping included, 100% verified seller. Just pick up a playset of Miradoras. There's no harm to come from it. Even if you feel like it, pick up a playset for yourself to play, because this hand trap is so underrated with what it can stop. If you hate Zeus, just play Miradora. Just stop complaining and play Miradora. Especially if you're playing Tri-Brigade and you make the Samorg Windlock, or if you play any deck that makes the Samorg Barrier Statue Windlock, play Miradora. I'm just gonna tell you that because it just gives you means to get that Barrier Statue off your field while stopping your opponent at the same time. Guys, I can't justify this only being a $750 card. This needs to be more. Like, honestly, I was ready to pay $20 to $30 for this card because I believe in it so much, especially with the clause saying that neither player can or wait, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. The activation effect of this card's effects cannot be negated. You see that right off the bat? I don't know what else you're thinking. Sure, there are other ways to out this, but if you play it right, that card's just insane. I don't know what just happened there. But just please consider it. Once again, this does have a Starlight printing that's actually relatively cheap. It has gone up a little bit, but for Starlight, it's actually really good. You're looking at only $150 on Near Mint First Eds. It does go up a little bit to about $170. But, I mean, come on. For a Starlight rare that's only going to go up in value, I don't know what you're thinking. Not going that way. Same thing goes for Alpha the Master of Beasts. All this one is not as underrated. I have seen people play this. I did see it get a little bit of a price spike for some time. And I know it was $40 on pre-sale, and unfortunately I bought a playset of it at that time because I just really wanted to have the card. But But $25 is not bad for a secret rare like this of Phantom Rage. But once again, though, this card does have a pretty close reprint clock since it was from Phantom Rage. It very well can be seen in the Megatins, so be careful in speculating for this. If you want to have some more protection with a card like this, and once again, you have the money, it's a little bit more dangerous. But Alpha the Master of Beasts Starlight Rare, not the worst Starlight Rare to consider. If you guys are in the market for Starlight Rares, this is another one of those to consider. Surprisingly enough, even when this card was sitting at $250, which it still is, I had somebody buy 2 of my copies at $370. Like, it's not unreasonable to sell this card at all. There are people that understand it and just realize, like, the insane amount of this card. I think I did actually lower the price of my last copy, unless I got rid of it. I don't remember. I actually don't know where it went. Is it on the front page? Huh. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I might have sold it already and just forgotten about it, but yeah, that's these are the Starlight Rares I'm going to recommend if you guys really feel like getting Starlight Rares. Of course, there is a whole bunch of stuff coming up this year, so if you want to save your money, that is totally understandable, and I'm definitely holding out for quite a few singles coming up later this year. So, getting closer to the end here. Sorry this market watch is taking so long. I just have a couple more things I want to talk about here. I'm just going to... Okay, I do need that. So, Black Rose Dragon Ultimate Rare. I know people have been, like, craving the Starlight Rare and things have just been going insane with it. I just wanted to point this out really quick. On the 9th of this month, somebody bought one of these for $500 at Near Mint First Ed. I really hope it actually came in Near Mint and they were able to grade it because I'm not paying that. I just want to see here. We have 7 First Ed listings left. Total of 16 listings altogether. You have one more Near Mint copy at $600. So if you guys really want to grade, I'd almost try to hit them up and see if you can get some pictures first to see if it's like Near Mint. You could actually grade it for a 9 or a 10. Otherwise, hold your breath on this card. Like, if you really want to, you can consider picking up a lightly played and seeing if that goes up in value. But you've only got basically 4 legitimate listings here left, and one of them is just way too outrageous for me. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. I thought it was funny. That was my joke of the day. On the other hand, Volcanic Shell Ultimate Rare. I'm really going to give you guys the chance for this one. If you've stuck to the end of this video, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of you and your support. And I want to give you guys this token of appreciation. I don't know what it is. If we look here, Near Mint First Ed selling at about $60, right? Light plays at $48. Nothing too crazy. Seems about normal for an Ultimate Rare, especially something like a Volcanic card because it is a fan favorite type of card. I have my first edition stamp on. I'm just going to click the lightly played Near Mint just to show you guys how crazy this is. So you still have those lightly playeds here. A few copies left. Literally 3 copies left at $45. Before all you have left is Near Mints that are once again at the $60 mark. But you only got 6 of those in total. So basically 2 of you, or whoever, can buy these last few copies below 60 here. And then you have 1 more at 70. And lightly playeds then after that go up to $90 and $100 where Near Mints are $130. Like, you are talking double the price point with only a few copies left. Like, if you look at, there's only 9 total Near Mint listings left, with several, like a couple that have multiple listings here. But this card is apparently, it's at least near a buyout. There are only a few copies left of the cheap stuff. And then you're looking pretty dang expensive. And honestly, I was really surprised. I just kind of was scrolling through the Ultimate Rares because I was curious. And I just thought, hey, it's Volcanic. I want to take a look at it. Yeah, this card went a little more insane than I expected. Like, sure, it's an Ultimate Rare, but who expected to have this kind of value out of a Volcanic? Especially if Volcanics get any support. If for whatever reason they get any support, this card is actually really good for the strategy. I'm just saying, it gives you tons of advantage, easy burn to your opponent or monster destruction. I like this card for the deck. And if Volcanics ever get any decent support, this is going to be, other than Volcanic Rocket, this is going to be one of the first things to go. I really see it happening. Maybe not necessarily the Ultimate Rare, but Volcanic Shells in general. So if you got the extra cash, like, honestly, this would probably be the way I'd go. Just because, I mean, look at that. The proof is in the pudding. It's right here. Everything's all on one page. Of course, if you take off the filters, that's not what I meant to click. If you just take off the filters here, you have a total of 28 listings left with quite a few unlimiteds. But, yeah, there isn't much left, guys. It's getting pretty much out. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about today was Monarch cards, because once again, with Flunderies being announced, and we're not going to be seeing it until like sometime next year, I just wanted to bring this up to you guys because I know a lot of people have been talking true Draco Flunderies, but honestly, the first thing that came to my brain was Monarchs. I don't know how viable the mix would be, but I just want to let you guys look at this really quick, take a peek at what some of these prices are looking like. We have seen a couple things go up. Looks like most of it's staying pretty low, though. So if you want to pick up any of these, I've heard Ryza was one of the big ones to go paired along with the deck. I could see possibly Adea or what was the other one? Not Adea, sorry. Oh, I'm so bad with Monarchs. Let me try to find him here. I didn't really play during Monarch format, so I'm kind of bad at the names. I remember what they look like and kind of what they do. I'm just unfortunately not finding them right now. But I mean, if you play enough of the spells and traps paired with a pantheism, I think it could be a really interesting advantage engine for Flunderies, but that's purely just me. So you guys take a look through this, kind of find the things you want. Now is probably the time to pick them up. They're probably going to be pretty cheap right now. But Erebus, there we go. That was the one I was looking for. Actually, still only $1.50. So if you want to pick up a few copies of this, I did myself like a few weeks ago. But yeah, this is just stuff to consider. I don't once again know for sure if Monarchs are going to be really good with Flunderies or not. I think the idea and the prospect of it is cool. So that's all I got for you guys today on this Market Watch. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all of you guys and your support so much. It's just absolutely incredible. And all the things that you guys do for this channel is just genuinely awesome. So you guys keep it up. Once again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. And check out the description for my TCG Player Store, Twitter, and all the other YouTube channels I'm involved with. And once again, thank you guys so much for showing up. I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Remember to have fun and make your move. Peace out.
I'm a love giver.